Hi folks, welcome to my channel and this week's video, which is a bit different to my new Draw With Me videos on a Friday, as today I am unofficially painting a picture for the Animal Artists Collective, which I'll tell you more about in just a bit. We're jumping straight into the painting today as my camera decided not to record any intro, but if you like this video anyway, regardless of the abrupt start, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, where I post twice weekly videos on all things art related. Ring the notification bell as well if you want to know exactly when I upload and you want to be sure not to miss it. So if you've not heard of the Animal Artists Collective, it's a group of amazing artists here on YouTube who every couple of months draw or paint an animal based around a theme. This is decided upon by you via their Facebook page. I'll put a link to that and their other social media in the description box below, along with some more information if you want to go and give the initiative some support and get involved. I'll also include a list of all the official artist members with links to their channels too. Hopefully I haven't left anyone out, but please let me know if I have so I can update the information. Now, if you're wondering what happens once the artworks are completed, well, each of the original drawings or paintings are put up for sale, and at least 50% of the proceeds from the sale are donated to a non-profit animal organisation which promotes animal conservation. So it's a really great way to share your art and show your love for animals by raising money and awareness. You can also participate unofficially like I'm doing and share your artwork using the hashtag Animal Artists Collective on Instagram or Twitter. For January 2019, as you may have guessed, the theme for this round is insects, and for my painting I've chosen to paint a butterfly. I'm using a mixture of ink and watercolour on cold press paper, and will list all the supplies I used in the description box if you want to go and check them out. I also wanted to experiment with adding coloured pencil to my painting, as I was looking to create a bit of texture to the butterfly's wings, so if you're curious to see the result of that, make sure you watch the video right till the end. To start off with though, I decided to outline my butterfly sketch using a dip pen and some waterproof black ink. The idea behind this was that not only would the dip pen allow me to get precise smooth edges to the butterfly, it would also, once dry, be resistant to the watercolour background I wanted to paint around it. And whilst the ink was still wet, I went in with a damp paintbrush to soften some of the inside edges and create a bit of a gradient ready for adding watercolour in on top. This method also allowed me to map out the markings on the butterfly's wings and acted as a bit of an underpainting. Once dry, being waterproof, the lines would stay nice and crisp, and I wouldn't have to worry about colours merging or muddying with the addition of either water or colour. I feel like although this process is less spontaneous and more controlled, it might be something to consider trying if you want a more predictable outcome. For the background, in contrast to the clearly defined butterfly wings, I was aiming for a much looser effect with minimal detail and just a suggestion of a few flowers and leaves. I applied clean water down first with a flat brush, leaving some areas free of water where there was going to be some white flowers. Then, using the same flat brush, I started to drop in a few colours, allowing them to bleed and mix together on the paper. I really like the blurry, out of focus backgrounds, as I think it really helps to push the main focus of the painting forward and acts as a nice contrast to the finer detail that I wanted to add to the butterfly wings later on. With the left hand side of the painting dry and still using my flat brush, I added another layer and a few branches. I still wanted to keep mainly soft edges though, so after putting the branches in, ran a clean brush alongside the edge to help them blur for that out of focus look. I continued to work in some darker values to the rest of the background using the same technique of softening edges with clean water. It's important not to add too much water though if you want to avoid getting tide marks or blooms on your painting as it dries. For the flowers in the background, I didn't want to spend too much time on meticulous details, so tried to keep them as simple as possible without having them look rushed or unfinished. I've been watching a lot of Lindsay the Frugal Crafter lately here on YouTube, and I'm sure it was her who said that painting loosely doesn't necessarily mean less detail, rather that each brush stroke should be intentional and have a purpose. The aim being, I think, that you use less brush strokes but make everyone count. This makes a lot of sense to me, but requires a lot of effective practice to master, so I'll just keep trying for now. So back to the Animal Artists Collective, and it's not just about painting pictures and selling them for charity. The Animal Artists Collective was also founded to increase awareness of animal welfare and conservation and promote positive messages whilst connecting artists to their communities. With each Animal Artists Collective video, the artists, as well as draw or paint, provide useful and interesting facts and information about the animal they have chosen. So I thought I'd share a few facts with you about my chosen subject. As far as butterflies and moths are concerned, they are all sensitive indicators of the general health of the environment and ecosystem. Along with bees, butterflies and moths help pollinate flowers, eat plenty of weedy plants and provide food source for other animals. Their feeding, reproduction and daily life all have an effect on other species, including humans. But butterfly numbers are decreasing due largely to climate change and habitat loss. As this happens, so the population of birds will drop too, as well as other animals who rely on them for food, and the butterfly effect spreads. Increasing awareness of this ecosystem is extremely important. There are simple things we can do personally to help too. Like for example, never try to catch butterflies, eat organic foods without pesticides, and cultivate nectar plants in your garden. We may not all be able to do everything, but we can educate ourselves and others on things that will help in whatever small way we can. So now it's time to paint in a few more details on this butterfly, and as much as I enjoyed painting the background, this was the bit that I was looking forward to the most. In fact though, the actual painting part of the butterfly didn't take much time at all because I'd inked out the main structure earlier. For the wings I mainly used neutral tint as that had a quinacridone violet pigment in it, which is PV19, and this blended in nicely with the edges of the wings. I also added in some of the quinacridone rose colour that I'd used in the flowers to help it look a bit more cohesive as a whole piece. The one thing that does bother me a bit though is the missing part of the butterfly's left hind wing. This wasn't present on my reference picture, so I'm not sure if the butterfly had lost it, if that's possible, and whether or not I should add it in to make it look more finished or balanced. I'm really not sure, and now I've noticed it, I can't unnotice it, but I can always do that later, so let me know in the comments what you think. Would you add it or not? Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I wanted to try adding coloured pencil over the top of my painting to add some texture to the butterfly's wings. Normally though, if I was planning on going in with coloured pencil over the top of a painting like this, I would use hot pressed paper as it's a lot smoother than the cold pressed. But I intentionally chose to use the rougher texture of the cold pressed paper today to try and get a mottled effect on the butterfly's wings, and that was visible on my reference picture. So it was a bit of an experiment, but I was glad I tried it because it did seem to work. Even with the sharp point to my black pencil, due to the rougher texture of the paper, not all of the tooth of the paper was covered over, which meant that there were gaps of white paper showing through. I was still able to darken up the areas of black around the outside of the wings though, so I was pretty pleased with the outcome. I was also able to hype up the darkest black areas of the wings with more black coloured pencil, as depending on which one you use anyway, black ink can dry lighter. So far as this painting goes, I did have a lot of fun with it and always like trying out new ideas for creating different effects. Don't forget to go and check out the official Animal Artists Collective members though, their channels and artwork for this round, and give them all your love and support as well. Next week I'll be returning to my draw with me, paint with me style videos, and I'm super excited as I have a new art supply to show you for that, but all will be revealed on Tuesday's video. So if you don't want to miss that, please give this video a thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon as well to be notified as soon as I upload. So I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, have a good week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.